Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm bringing you guys a career video. I haven't done one in ages, and obviously I was going to come back with top 10 analysts, even fact #1 analyst where she is. Vera is absolutely amazing, especially in this career corporate game. Introduce yourself.
Hi guys, my name is Vera Okojie. I'm a Fintech Analyst at the biggest Fintech in the entire world.
Period.
I'm also an ACC qualified career coach as well.
Vera is an excellent career coach. I'm going to leave some reviews on the screen for you guys to see. And she is going to be joining the Resource Bank on the consulting arm of things. So if you want to, get a taster of her services as a career coach, interview, coaching, CV reviews,
assessment centers. I help people end to end from when you're applying to when you start your job. So any of these services, I'll be offering one-to-one, but also group services as well, so you can network with other individuals.
Yes, they don't know you yet, so we're gonna get into your experience. So give us a little bit of an introduction. I think maybe start with university, like what you studied and why.
Yeah, so I went to Warwick University and I did philosophy. I think for me, doing philosophy was a real passion of understanding different ways to learn about different topics, open my mind.
Now that you say it, it's very much a you subject. I'm not surprised that you studied philosophy.
Oh,
you're the type of person who would study philosophy.
Yeah. It's just something that opens your mind up, and it's something that helped me build really good transferable skills, which is something I'll talk about a little bit more later.
When you chose philosophy, did you have your career in mind?
Not really.
I mean, did you have any worries if I'm doing philosophy, what am I gonna do with my career? Yeah,
no, I think it's a very good question. And actually, being Nigerian, is always medicine, law, accountants, So I was thinking law because I was good at the arts and kind of writing and everything. But going into philosophy, I was so happy I did that because it opened me beyond just one route. And it meant that I tried so many different types of routes, which I can definitely talk about. I was always going to stand out because not a lot of people that did philosophy went into these different vocational routes that I tried.
That makes so much sense because looking at your work experience, you did law, you've done work experience with Clifford Chance and
Weil, Reed Smith,
all of these law firms, and then you have finance. You've done work experience with
Barclays, HSBC. I did financial advisory at Lazard,
and then you went into
I went into tech for a whole year.
And you worked at the biggest tech companies, Google, Microsoft.
Yeah.
And then you ended up at Fintech.
Yes.
So that is so interesting. How did you navigate? Was it like a process of elimination going through all of those different fields?
Yeah, I think part of it is, and I think it's something that I've even picked up from you, Lamde. It's you have to do something, try it, and then you'll figure it out. So doing law was because I guess my skills kind of aligned to that. And then I thought, what's this whole finance thing about? Going to my uni, everyone talks about spring weeks, So I was like, okay, let me find out about these spring weeks at the financial firm. So I did that, and I thought, these finance firms are talking about tech a lot. This tech thing, what's the hype? I want to see what this is about. So I went for that. And it ultimately left me at this point where now I'm in fintech, and obviously that's the intersection between finance and tech. But the reason I was able to even figure that out is because I just gave it a go. And I always say to people, when you're in your university stage or just early in your career, this is the time to be trying things out.
I have two questions from that. One, how did you not get sucked up into the hype of bulge bracket banks or any of the big names that people, even if you didn't really enjoy it, because everyone else views it so highly, people would just choose it. And you had the option to be at all of these amazing firms. You had Google, you had Microsoft, you could have equally done banking as well. Why choose something that, the sort of people that I would expect that you went to uni with probably would not see as they'll probably be why would you do this instead of that? How did you how are you able to make that decision?
Yeah, I think ultimately.
And you know what, let me just say something here. I don't want to say this though, sorry. I want to say it because the reason why I really want to ask this question is because of all my friends who are graduates and figuring things out, you are probably one of the happiest. And I think the reason for that is because you genuinely went with what you actually enjoyed and liked, as opposed to just going with what everyone saw as like, this is the most popular thing to do. That's why I'm asking the question.
No, you said it. It's ultimately, I did what made me happy, and I thought about what do I enjoy. And this is why it's important to try things, because if you're just going with what everyone's doing, you have one route and you're just not trying different things. It's all about that taking risks and being uncomfortable. You know, ultimately in doing that, you figure out what works for you. But if you're just looking at what everyone else is doing and not actually taking the risk, you're not opening your mind to opportunities which would suit you best. It's a life lesson. It's not even just like career, right? Do what works for you. Get clarity on what makes you happy, where you see yourself working, what are your skills, where do you add value. That's key.
But was there ever a battle though? Like, oh, should I just choose Google because it's a bigger name? Or should I just do Microsoft because, you know, da, 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 da. Did you ever have that battle, or did you always know that I'm just going to go with what?
I think obviously, yeah. I mean, that's why I tried them out in the first place, right? This is the thing. When you try it, then you know exactly what you want. When you're not trying it out and you're just going off what everyone's saying or what's the hype, you're just guessing.
It's so true.
And it's a life lesson, right?
So my next question is then, how do you position yourself in, like, how are you able, because a lot of people, right, come to me and they say, oh, like, I really want to get into investment banking, but my experience so far is this, or well, I have no experience, or I had this and then this, and like, I don't feel like my experience is related. You've managed to successfully position yourself as a candidate that all of these different firms in completely different industries want. How are you able to do that?
Yeah, no, if we can, let's put a hashtag right here. Okay, transferable skills. Transferable skills. I knew my skills, and that was what I was able to articulate in every single application I did. For me, I have my USP, so my unique selling point. This is something I teach a lot of my clients. For me, I'm entrepreneurial, eager to learn, and enthusiastic. And that's what makes me stand out. And I'm able to always relate that, and I can say it without having to write it down. I know it. And I can relate that to any industry and be able to actually expand on that and how I can then add value, being who I am, to that industry. And that's what always makes me successful in my applications, I'd say. For example, philosophy, I'm good at data analysis because I'm looking at complex information and making it easy and digestible in a simple way. That's data analysis. I didn't have to study computer science in order to show that skill. So
I'm sure like when you got to fintech, you was able to leverage your banking experience, you was able to leverage your technology experience, and then use that to make you more competitive for fintech. Even law as well, because I don't know if you guys know, if you're new here, I did banking for like the first 2 years of uni, and in my family I was like, I'm just gonna do law. I'm just gonna I knew I wasn't gonna like go into it because I already had my summer internship, but I was just like, I'm just gonna apply for law stuff. And I was able to get law vacation schemes. We actually met apparently. We met at Clifford. I don't remember.
She was so quiet for everything.
But yeah, so we actually met at Clifford. So I did one law work experience and I was like, hell no, I'm not doing this. No, it's not for me. Then I did banking, going into university. So this was pre-uni. So going into university, I knew I was going to do banking. Did banking first year, did banking second year. Then it got to my third year. I was like, how do I even know I want to do banking? Let me just try out law just because I can. And then I was like, oh, like, am I going to have some issues like moving from like a finance experience into law? And I was like, actually no, because at the end of the day, these finance firms are their clients anyway, so I've got so much to leverage. The commercial knowledge, exactly, it's all like the same thing, and I was able to leverage that experience, which seemed unrelated, to make a really competitive law application, such that I was able to get these vacation schemes. In the fintech space now, how have you gone about like establishing yourself?
I think so. One thing, and it's another thing that Lamine does talk about, and I really do agree, is invest in yourself. So I went and actually did a course at Oxford, and I just finished. I got first.
Cheers!
I did. That was so good. Period. And it was really good. Those are important. So educate yourself. You know, when you get to the professional world.
What was that course though?
The fintech course. It's actually a fintech course, and I was able to do two things: get a good basis into the introduction of fintech, and I was also able to network with other people in my industry. That is very important. So essentially, in doing the networking and also understanding my industry more, it builds. The key word is confidence, which is why I'm doing my new like community. But it's all about then I was able to apply that into my working experience, and I work with clients in my role, so I'm able to talk about, oh, I have this perspective that is different to people who've been in the industry maybe for years.
So then talk to me about like being a black woman in tech or being a black woman in fintech in the workspace. How has that been for you? Any like pains, any pros? Yeah.
I'd say you stand out, which I think, as we know, the way we are going, it's increasingly important to have a personal brand, like a sense of brand, a sense of self in the workplace, anywhere, digitally, whatever. I think being a black woman, I automatically stand out, which is good because essentially people are going to want to know more about me. Oh, but you know, you're different. What's your perspective? What can you bring that's different? And that's what I've loved about being in tech and fintech. They're both increasingly innovative and growing. So they're looking for people that have different perspectives anyway. So I think it's always been something that serves me a lot more.
I love that you said that first. I love that you said that first because every time we have these conversations about being a black woman in finance, being a black woman in tech, it's always with like all the negatives that come with it, which the truth be told, like it's the same as uni. Like most of us have gone to unis that are predominantly white anyway, so it's the same sort of stuff that you get, right? But then like I think there's no point on like harboring and sitting on those negative things 24/7 because it's not going to change. Like we're always going to be a minority. We are a minority in the country anyways. You know, I think that like the narrative has to change and think about, okay, what are some of the positives of being the only black person? And that's what I say as well. Like people will remember me because I am one of the only black people. So I mean,
they remember you for being good.
Exactly, but then you have to make sure that they remember you for good things and not bad.
You better know your
stuff.
But
then the only thing you can do is spin it to work in your favor.
And I genuinely have always seen it as a very good way to benefit me. I'm able to, you know, come into rooms maybe where there's more experienced people and speak there or have a seat at the table, as we say, because I'm different.
When you change your wigs, when you come with a new hairstyle,
I mean, to be fair, I will say, you did say cons, and I think the key thing is high expectations. That's the key.
Oh, you would say high expectations?
There's definitely higher expectations on, if you're a black woman, you know, not in your just, you know, race, and it's both race and gender, I guess, you know, you're at that intersection. There is a sense of higher expectation. I've not experienced it myself.
Explain that. Are you talking about in the sense about like, you know what they say, oh, like we have to work twice as hard, blah, blah, blah. Or what do you mean? Like you think they expect us to perform?
I think there's a sense of, yes, because you're so different. And obviously you're literally the opposite from the generic people that you see around you.
Yeah.
Then there's a feeling that possibly you may not know as much, or there's genocide. So you have to really like actually not prove yourself, but sometimes it does feel like you have to say, yeah, I am different, but I'm good. I'm good. Not you're good because you're an ethnic minority or for an ethnic minority.
I hear that. I think it's a difficult one as well because I remember like during my internship I had this similar conversation, and this was with an ethnic minority guy, non-black. And we were talking about like, you know, who was going to get the internship, and he said, oh, do you think you're going to get it because you're black? And I was like, no, if being black helps me, then fair enough, but I think I'm going to get it because I've actually performed like number 1, number 2 in the last 2 case studies, not just because I'm black, but because I've actually done very, very good in the internship so far. But it's like, it's also kind of annoying that we have to overcompensate because people just expect that, oh yeah, it's just because you're black. Anything you want to say to people who might be interested in fintech?
I guess maybe I can give some top tips. If you're interested in tech itself, just get researching. I always make this, anyone that's been a client of mine and potential clients out there, I'm going to be hammering on about research. But research has really helped me. The more I learn about things, the more, like I said, you come across as someone who's confident and competent and excellent in the way you're going to talk about the industry. And that will only put you in a good way when you're going for these interviews or anything, and when you're in the industry itself. I say it again, but network, get to know people. If you're interested in industry, go on LinkedIn and start to ask people about the industry. Ask them what they would do, ask them how it is to work there, what's the unexploited opportunities which are, you know, upcoming in that industry. Ask them those kind of questions, get a thorough insight, not just what's the application process like. The final thing is, and I've said it a few times here, but it's really about confidence. Really, this is why it's important to go for things. You get more confident the more you go along things. Also, having a good support network, like having my girl here as well, like as a fellow black woman doing good things, amazing things. You know, everyone around me, this is all part of the confidence I've been able to build. So when I say network, it's also going to serve you in that confidence. When I say research, it's going to serve you in knowing yourself so you're confident. So always look for opportunities to build that confidence, and you'll go very, very far.
Preach it. So yeah, you guys, again, if you want to book Vera as your career coach, as your interview buddy, as your CV review,
everything and anything, I'm so excited to be doing this. I think it's going to be amazing. I'm so excited to work with you guys. I think the group sessions are going to be really, really good as well.
Oh yeah.
So we have a lot of cool things coming up. Get on it, and can't wait to meet some of you guys.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for coming on my channel, Vera. I will leave all the links to her Instagram, to her career coaching services in the description box below. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.